Hello, and welcome to today's webinar on the Arcules XProtect hybrid solution. Today, you'll hear about Arcules' newest product, which is designed to connect the Arcules Video Surveillance Cloud into a Milestone XProtect video management system. You'll see how you can experience the ease and flexibility of Arcules Cloud, joined with the powerful functionality of Milestone XProtect VMS. Before we begin, one quick housekeeping item. There will be a live Q&A session at the end of the webinar. If you have a question, please ask at any time using the Q&A feature on the Zoom menu bar. Let's start by introducing your presentation team from Arcules. I'm Mark Tangway, Product Marketing Manager. I bring more than 10 years of experience in physical security and video surveillance storage to Arcules. Joining me today is Jeff Wiley. Jeff is the lead product manager, guiding Arcules product with years of experience in security and technology software product management. Jeff will be leading the product demonstration today, showing you how to make the connection between Arcules and XProtect. Also joining us is Yvette Castro. Yvette is Arcules Event Marketing Manager. Yvette's responsible for producing all of Arcules event programs, including this webinar series. Today, Yvette will coordinate the Q&A session. Today, we have a couple of special guests from Milestone Systems. Jason Wallace is a pre-sales solution engineer. Jason is based in South Texas and has been with Milestone for more than 4 years. Art McConaughey is an inside solutions engineer that has been using Milestone software for 14 years. Art has experience at Milestone with technical support, professional services, learning and performance, and with pre-sales engineering. Jason and Art, thanks for joining today.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Thank you so much.
All right, let's start with an overview of Arcules' first hybrid product. The Arcules XProtect hybrid connector joins Arcules Video Cloud together with an XProtect video management system. In this very common scenario that you see here, on the right-hand side, we have a large headquarter or campus location that's running XProtect. XProtect is a proven choice for best-in-class VMS, supporting large installations. This can range from dozens of recording servers and into the hundreds or even thousands of camera counts. XProtect VMS powerfully integrates with other leading security solutions, including now with Arcules. On the left-hand side, you'll see smaller remote office branch office locations. These might be a regional sales office, an inventory warehouse, or a retail shop for a few examples. Today, it may be complex to manage from an IT perspective, or it may be price prohibitive to roll out traditional VMS or VMS connected solutions to each site and location. That's where Arcules can fit in. These smaller sites are perfectly suited to Arcules cloud-based video surveillance. Arcules is simple to install and set up. It's easy to operate, very cost effective. That makes it ideal for these remote environments. The real power of the solution comes from joining Arcules with XProtect. You realize the best of both worlds, the ease of use and site scalability using Arcules with the rich features of XProtect and VMS. By adding Arcules into the remote offices, you're really getting an additional security system. Arcules can be operated locally at the remote site, providing cloud video surveillance for each small office location. Arcules video events and alarms are sent to the Arcules cloud. Once the hybrid connection is made between the systems, Arcules cloud cameras can be monitored in XProtect. Live video viewing, playback, and even alarms can be viewed and managed in XProtect Smart Client with no additional learning by operators. When connected, the enterprise now has expanded and centralized their surveillance operation to include the remote locations. For a quick overview of what the solution provides, let's watch this short video. To recap the benefits of the combined solution, together Arcules and XProtect can help you centralize your remote sites to your large installations. The solution can reduce your capital investment costs. It provides you with site surveillance that's suited to the environment. So you can run XProtect at your large sites, Arcules at remote locations. It's really the best of what both companies provide to each of our customers. Arcules is easy to set up and operate. Connecting Arcules Cloud into XProtect is simple. It does not require ongoing IT resources to manage. Now that you've seen what connected hybrid solution delivers, let's turn it over to Jason and Art from Milestone to hear about the architecture, the key features, and benefits of XProtect. Jason and Art?
Thank you very much. Yeah, Art and I wanted to talk a little bit about our architecture and kind of give a real quick little demo of what it actually looks like live in our software. So first off, to lead off here, want to get into just a real high-level overview of what the Milestone architecture looks like. So this would kind of represent an out-of-the-box Milestone system. So what we see on the screen here is a single Milestone system. So even though we may have multiple recording servers that may be located in different various areas of a facility or in different facilities, this is all a single management server, single centrally managed system that is considered one Milestone system. So if we have our smart client software, that's where you're going to view and interact with the video. That's also where you view your Arcules feeds coming into Milestone. And we also have our management client software over here, which is where you administrate the Milestone system. So normally, this is the way we scale. These would be Windows servers that are out here, and you just install the Milestone recording server component on those servers, and that's how we scale. So if you need more cameras and you've reached capacity, add another server, put the recording server software on it, you've scaled, and now you can handle more. So each of those servers may have 150 cameras on it, but let's do a different scenario. Let's say maybe you run a cell phone store, for example. You've got 200 store locations. You don't need 150 cameras at a cell phone store. We're talking like 4, maybe 6 cameras. Do you really want to deploy 200 Windows servers that all have to be patched and maintained and dealt with to deal with these large numbers of these remote facilities? So there's an interesting situation here where we can go and we can bring in the Arcules hybrid cloud solution and start rolling in additional cameras that you don't have to maintain and deal with these hundreds of servers. So in this scenario here, you may have, maybe your corporate location does need multiple recording servers, or maybe you're an oil and gas customer where you have corporate facilities with large numbers of cameras, but you also have a variety of these remote facilities where you have just a few cameras, where you don't want to have to deploy and maintain a server out there. So we can scale this and continue to grow. And basically, you have your cameras interact with the Arcules gateway device that goes up to their cloud service. And this is kind of simplified. Then it just comes in and it feeds into a recording server where we take those feeds. And as far as the user is concerned that's using the smart client to view the software, then from their perspective, it's all one happy system, and you're just bringing in those feeds. So what Art's going to come up with next is kind of show us what this looks like in the smart client software. We've got a demo set up here with our public demo site. Art may be muted.
Thank you for that. So for those of you that may not be familiar with the Milestone XProtect Smart Client, it's the application that you would use to monitor live video, review recorded video, and manage incoming alarms. I'm going to talk about the environment that we're looking at here on the screen real quick. So I'm logged into a Milestone XProtect corporate installation at the Milestone Americas headquarters in Lake Oswego, Oregon. In addition to that installation, we also have an Arcules gateway integrating video into Milestone using the Arcules connector add-on. Now, what we're looking at here is our live tab. I'm going to start by just talking a little bit about this. So these streams that you're seeing are streams that are actually connected through the Arcules VSaaS and tied back into Milestone using that Arcules connector. You can see that these streams are coming in without any issue at all. Now I'm going to move over to the playback tab. So this is where you would go to review video that has been recorded in Arcules. You can see here that at the bottom of the screen, these red indicators are points in time that recordings have taken place. In addition to that, you can drag the timeline to any given video and play back that video as needed. You can see that we had our cleaning crew in the building at one point. So in addition to playback, we also have the alarm manager. Now, currently, we are utilizing analytics that are taking place in the Arcules system. That particular analytic that we're utilizing is a people in region. So we're identifying if there are 4 or more people in the given region. That region, by the way, being, as you can see in this playback tab, this hallway corridor right here. If there are 4 people in that zone, Arcules will create an alarm, and that alarm will then be synchronized over to Milestone. You can see here that we don't have any Arcules alarms at this point, which means that the people counting is doing exactly what it should be because our personnel are actually working from home at this point in time. At this point, I'm going to pass the presentation on to Mark Tanguay to discuss details about the Arcules VSaaS.
Great, thank you, Art. And as a quick reminder, there will be a Q&A session at the end of the webinar. You can ask your question at any time through the Q&A function from the Zoom menu bar. So now let's go ahead and take a closer look at Arcules VSaaS product. Arcules is a cloud-based solution. It was designed for multi-location VSaaS to connect your different sites together. At each location, an on-site gateway bridges the connection between your cameras and the cloud. The gateway is set up in minutes. It's set up and forget it. The gateway makes a secure connection and then sends encrypted video to the Arcules cloud. Your connection to the Arcules application is through the web portal. You can access the Arcules cloud from anywhere at any time through a web browser, on a Mac, PC, or even the mobile app for iOS or Android. From the web app, you can connect and configure the gateway, and you can add your existing IP cameras that may already be installed on the local network. One great feature about Arcules is that it's compatible with most ONVIF certified and many IP cameras from Axis, Sony, Bosch, Hanwha, and others, meaning that you may not have to rip and replace your cameras, further saving on your capital costs. This is a quick look at the Arcules easy-to-operate interface. Learning Arcules is really simple compared to other security solutions. For end-user operators, even non-technical or non-security employees like HR, operations managers, or receptionists, they can quickly learn how to operate and manage Arcules. Advanced features for experienced operators are just a click away. To summarize the key features of Arcules Video Surveillance as a service, it's simple to install, very easy to use and operate. It was designed for multi-site capabilities. It includes robust security features and also has powerful case management that lets you build your recorded event library. It has insightful video analytics and business intelligence features and can be accessed using web or mobile clients from anywhere at any time. Now that you know a little more about both Arcules and XProtect products, let's take a look at the combined solution. To make the connection between Arcules Cloud and Milestone, Arcules used the Milestone API driver framework to create a Milestone certified plugin. That allows for live view and playback of the Arcules camera channels from the Arcules Cloud into XProtect. It also allows, as Jason and Art mentioned, for alarms generated in Arcules to be forwarded to XProtect. The hybrid connector plugin has been certified and tested to work with XProtect Corporate version 2020, release 1 and later. Licensing for the plugin is available on the Milestone marketplace. Now that you've heard about the hybrid solution, let's turn it over to Jeff Wiley for a live demonstration of the products working together. Jeff?
Thanks, Mark. Hi, everyone. My name is Jeff Wiley. I'm a product manager at Arcules. So today I'll be showing you an end-to-end demo of the integration between Arcules and Milestone. So first we'll start off in the Arcules web portal. We'll go over to the management client for Milestone and then view video and alarms within XProtect. So starting off, let's talk a little bit about the Arcules connector plugin. So as Mark mentioned, it's 3 components. One component being the Milestone driver framework, the management client UI, as well as the MIPS SDK for alarm management. So here, after I log into the Arcules platform, I can download the plugin. We also have online help here to help you through the installation. So first of all, the system's already set up. So assuming that the integrator has already set up your cameras and it's ready to go, there's a few other steps you need to do to configure the setup within Arcules. So first, the connection needs to be authenticated. So we created what we call an API user to authenticate the connection between Arcules and Milestone. So we created the API user, which has the role and the permissions to view device list, manage alarm, view live video, as well as playback. We also have the ability to restrict what cameras the API has access to with our site and locations. I also added this user to a group so I can easily assign alarms to that user. The next step, to configure video analytics, I would come to my device list. So I'll give the example of our reception camera where we already have a pre-configured rule set up. So I can see that I have a people and region rule set up here at the entrance of our office. Next step is to configure a rule. The rule will determine when the analytic will run and when the alarm is sent over to Milestone. So here in the reception area, we have a people in region and it's scheduled for the night shift, and the action would be to create an alarm and send to Milestone. So that's the setup on the Arcules side. Next, I'll go over to the Milestone management client. Again, in this example, the plugin has already been installed on this machine. Once the plugin has been installed, Arcules becomes a node within the site navigation tree. I can click on my connections and see the connection that I pre-configured. So here we gave it the name of Arcules HQ. You can name it whatever you want based on the location of the connection. And then the API user that I configured within the Arcules platform, I use here to authenticate the connection. Once I test the connection and it's okay, I can add my devices. Here, I already added 4 cameras from the Arcules headquarters. Very simple and easy to add. Since I already configured and added cameras, they won't show here in the add dialog. I can delete a connection, and I can also modify a connection. So the event of replacing a camera or adding new cameras to the Arcules system, you'd have to come in as a second step into the Milestone management client and check for those updates. In this case, no updates have been found, but if there were, I can just select and easily add those new cameras. And here is the alarm configuration. I can choose at what point in time to sync the alarms from and how often I want to pull for alarms within the XProtect system. So based on our setup and configuration, we created default camera groups based on your cloud cameras. So when you're viewing these cameras within the XProtect Smart Client, these cameras will be grouped in the same site location hierarchy that you get back from the Arcules system. So here you can see I have my Arcules HQ is my site, and then my location, I'm sorry, my site is Arcules North America, my location is Arcules Q, and all the devices connected to that location. Next, you can see the recording server that I added these devices to. One important thing to note is that we always retrieve playback from the edge and never record to the recording server. The benefit of this is that you limit the outbound bandwidth from the remote site as well as the inbound bandwidth from the site the camera is being viewed from. And that is the configuration within the management client. Next, I'll go in and view alarms and video from Smart Client. So you can see the device groups that have been pre-configured, and I'll go ahead and add these to my view. And they really just look like any other camera within the XProtect system. So the operator, it just looks like another camera and very easy to use. So here I can see all my live video. I'll go back into playback and synchronize these cameras. I also have the ability to export video from my Arcules cameras, create bookmarks. Another feature that we get through integrating with Milestone is their new search feature. So I can select a camera to search on. In this example, I'll use the kitchen camera. I have the ability to search for motion, bookmarks if they're created, as well as alarms if there's any alarms created for this particular camera. Finally, I'll go over to my alarm manager and respond to alarms that have been triggered on the Arcules system. So here you can see this person triggered the alarm when they entered in the building last night. You can go ahead and close this out, click OK. And that concludes the demo, and I'll hand it back over to Mark for the remainder of the webinar.
Thank you, Jeff, for that excellent overview and demo. You really get a feel for how easy it is to just set up, and then from the operator side, if you're an XProtect operator, you're trained on XProtect, and you know how to use Smart Client, there's really no additional learning again. So really simple all the way around from setup to operation. So now that you've seen the solution in action, let's just quickly talk about what's needed from each side, from the technology to make the solution work. From the Arcules side, you do need an active account. And so that would be at least one camera channel, can scale up to as many as you'd like that you have for your different sites and locations. At each site and location, you do need an Arcules ARC2 gateway. That's the one piece of hardware in the Arcules solution. That gateway plays a very important role in encrypting the video and also helping you with setup to discover the IP cameras that you have on your current network. But that's the only hardware piece that needs to be added into the Arcules solution. You'll also need the Arcules connector plugin. Current version is 1.0. And as you saw from Jeff's demo, that Arcules connector plugin is freely downloadable from the Arcules website, from your web portal. And the licensing for that connector is sold by Milestone. And so we switch over to the Milestone half of the equation here. What you need from the Milestone side is XProtect Corporate. It's version 2020 and release 1 or later. That is what the connector is certified to work on. And for each camera that's coming from the Arcules cloud, you'll need a camera connector license. And Milestone has launched this solution with a special promotion that the license is license fee free through November, I believe. But you can contact your Milestone sales representative for more information on that special to get started. This is a quick view of the Arcules XProtect hybrid VMS solution on Milestone Marketplace. You can go to milestonesys.com and search in the marketplace under Arcules. You'll see here in the Milestone Marketplace that there's a lot of information that we've covered in the webinar today, but technical documents showing you how to install and what the solution is certified for. So now that you've seen the solution in action, both from the Milestone XProtect side and from the Arcules side, we'd like to go ahead and open things up for a question and answer session. So we'll bring on Yvette Castro to ask the questions that you've been forwarding. And again, if you have any other questions, you go ahead and ask it on the Q&A section right now.
Perfect. Thanks so much, Mark. Hey everyone, my name's Yvette Castro and I work with Jeff and Mark at Arcules, and I'll be helping get some of your questions answered live today on the webinar. Just as Mark said, go ahead and continue to enter your questions in the Q&A section of the Zoom dashboard. So let's get started. Okay, so we have a question here. How are the video channels from Arcules Cloud licensed in Milestone? Are there additional per channel costs? Who wants to take that question?
Yeah, this is Mark. I'll go ahead and take that. So what we covered on the what you need from each company side. So from an Arcules camera channel, there's a subscription that's licensed, and that includes sending your video up into the Arcules cloud for recording and storage. And then the connector itself to connect to that camera channel license for either live view or playback into Milestone XProtect, there is a per camera channel annual license fee that is paid and licensed through Milestone to allow you to live view and view recorded playback inside of XProtect.
Yeah, just to dovetail on that, it connects in very much the same way a feature we have called Interconnect does. Interconnect is that idea if you have a completely separate standalone Milestone system out in the field and you want to pull video channels in from that. Interconnect is a way to interact with that, and you can pull the stream in live and record it. You kind of treats it like an IP camera coming in from that remote Milestone system, or you can do completely all streaming where it's you live view, and then when you close the connection, the stream stops because it all lives out on the edge. Same thing with playback, and that's the way that the Arcules solution connects in. Is it's all about streaming, and everything is 100% live from that remote cloud system. So even when you go into playback mode and you run the timeline back and forth, it's streaming in those frames, that video live, back and forth as you move the timeline, all real time from the cloud service. And again, that connects in with kind of the same way we deal with what's called Interconnect, and that's the same license or per channel video that would come in for that.
Okay, great. So next question, can Arcules be used as a standalone solution without XProtect?
Yeah, I can take that one. Yes, it can. So both of the systems run independently, and if you want to only use Arcules, you can do so.
Yeah, and thanks, Jeff. And we'll add on to that one too. That one of the benefits that we talked about through these remote site locations that currently doesn't have an on-prem VMS running today. It's a great way to add video surveillance security to these remote branch office locations. And there are several features and benefits that at the local level that office can utilize. And so it can be things like unattended office, or unattended reception area. So using the Arcules Cloud Video Surveillance and running that local remote office branch office through Arcules, the Arcules camera may pick up that someone has walked into a reception area. In the times now, we may not have a receptionist there, so an Arcules motion detection event could generate a notification through the Arcules cloud, which could then be sent and forwarded to a remote office manager, whether it's a sales manager, HR manager, or someone in the local office. And then simultaneously, that alarm can be sent back to XProtect, where corporate security is monitoring and keeping an eye on security for that remote office as well. But you can have some just local business improvements and optimizations from having Arcules run as a standalone system while it's also connected to XProtect for corporate security.
Yeah, and something I might add to that as well, this is Art from Milestone, is that it's not an all or nothing solution. So if you've decided that you wanted to utilize this connector to bring video streams from cameras at a remote site into Milestone, you can actually select which streams you want to bring in, or which are most important in the head-end Milestone environment.
Great, thanks, Jason. Okay, so next question. Can a Milestone recording server act as a gateway for Arcules, or is another gateway needed?
So the recording server will just be where the feeds come in from the cloud service. So the on-premises device would be the gateway provided by Arcules. And guys, I believe that it is required to have a gateway, right? Or are the cameras somehow able to stream in live optionally as well?
No, it does require the ARC2 gateway at each site and location.
I think there was another question in there also just asking about the size of the gateway. Do you know physically how big it is? Just the footprint?
Yeah, very, very small product. And the dimensions are on the Arcules website for the gateway, but it's a small form factor PC gateway box. So very, very, very small. And the cameras that the gateways can support, we have different models of gateways. There's an entry-level model that supports just over 20 cameras, and then we can scale up to larger gateways that can support up into the hundreds of camera channels, just depending on resolution, frame rate, and the amount of data that you're sending from each camera channel.
Great, thanks, Mark. So next question, can Arcules be used as a standalone solution without XProtect? I think that one was for Jeff Wiley.
Yeah, I actually think that one was already answered, and the answer is yes. They're two independent systems.
Okay, perfect. Jeff, I think I have another one for you too. You said you always record to the edge, never to the Milestone archiver. That means to the cloud?
Yep. So in this case, we were referring to the edge as actually streaming from the cloud. So for Arcules cameras, all the storage is in the cloud, and we're basically adding those cameras as part of the integration to the recording server, but never actually recording to that recording server. So we're not duplicating the recordings.
Okay, and can you create evidence locks?
So to create evidence, you actually have to do that within the Arcules system and not in the Milestone system. So you can actually export video in Milestone, but if you wanted to save evidence and save it in the cloud, you actually have to do that through Arcules.
And one addition to that one is that bookmarks from, so your Arcules system will operate somewhat independently for evidence from XProtect, and XProtect operates somewhat independently. So bookmarks created in either won't be synchronized in the release today. So this is the first release of the hybrid connector. So you would continue if you have evidence lock in XProtect, it would continue to operate as it does today. The same thing on the Arcules side. Your case management would continue to operate independently from your XProtect evidence lock. The alarms are sent over from Arcules, from the rules that you have set up in Arcules Cloud. Those are forwarded instantaneously into XProtect.
Okay, thanks, Mark. Maybe this is another one for Jeff Wiley. Can the rules have multiple conditions?
Yep. So the way the rules work, so you can either, in the example that I gave, and we actually have some help documentation on this, but you can create a rule for an analytic and start to, send a notification or trigger an alarm. And we can do that for both health events as well as video analytic events.
Okay.
Yeah, and something I might add to that as well is that Milestone has its own rules engine, which is very powerful. And the rules engine in Milestone can also affect the video that comes in from, so you can actually have Milestone take action based on that video that's coming in.
Okay. And if needed, can we also record the streams on Milestone XProtect?
I don't see, that would be a technical question for Arcules in terms of whether that's allowed or not. But from Milestone side, if we modify the rules such that it's streaming all the time, then yeah, we could pull in those recordings into Milestone and then record them on the recording server. Just in that case, when you do playback, you wouldn't be playing back live off the cloud system anymore. You'd be playing off of your local recording server instance. And I guess in essence, you just have a copy living out there on the cloud independently. So you could consider it kind of like a redundancy or a backup system. But I guess the greater question is that that would increase bandwidth significantly to stream 24/7. So is that
Yeah,
something?
that's right. It's actually recommended that you only use cloud storage.
Okay.
Jason, I think this one's for you too. Can you differentiate the solution from Milestone interconnect concept?
Yeah, differentiating the two. So interconnect is originally intended strictly for Milestone systems only. So let's say the example I always like to give is, let's say your Subway corporate, the sandwich shop, and you've got your corporate solution with your corporate cameras in your offices and stuff, and maybe you've got some corporate stores, but then you also have franchisee locations. Now, your franchisee location is independently owned and operated. They don't need top-tier Milestone corporate for a 4-camera, sandwich shop. They're probably going to go with a lower-tier Milestone, maybe Express Plus or something out there. So how does the corporate system pull in those video feeds from that remote site if they wanted to also share that video? And that's what Interconnect does, is you can have a completely separate, independently licensed, standalone Milestone system that's totally separate, and use Interconnect to pull in those video feeds and to bring those into a parent system. And Arcules integration works much the same way, where in essence, that cloud service acts as a remote system that we're able to pull those video feeds in from and then do stuff with them. They come into a recording server, we treat them basically kind of like an IP camera. And then from that point, you can interact with it, see it in Smart Client, you play back and have it be, kind of integrated into the parent Milestone system.
Perfect. Thank you so much. I think we'll do a couple more minutes of questions. We have a ton of great questions coming in. If we don't happen to answer yours live, we will follow up with you directly. So last couple of questions here. How do I update the gateway?
So on the Arcules side, the gateway is actually updated remotely by the cloud. So there's no need for an installer or an integrator to go on site to do maintenance.
Yeah, that was one of the neat benefits of this as a hybrid solution with Milestone is, in that example that I gave, if you have 200 cell phone stores, you really want to deal with the logistics of maintaining and patching and dealing with Windows updates for 200 servers when each of those stores only has 6 cameras or something. So this is a really cool hybrid solution where you can kind of have the best of both worlds, and you don't have to spend the IT manpower to maintain all those those systems that would now be handled by the gateway device automatically.
So Jeff, to add on to that one, so we're currently on version 1.0 of the Arcules connector, the hybrid connector. What will the update process be like when we get to version 1.1?
So we'll make the plugin available through the Arcules portal. And obviously we would notify all users that an update's available, and they can go into the Arcules portal and download the new version.
Great. So here we go. Last question. Are there any limitations in the native XProtect functions for Arcules VSaaS cameras? Who wants to take that one?
I can take that one. So there are a few limitations, one being evidence lock that someone mentioned. We can actually, and we have an FAQ that actually goes through a comprehensive list of what is available versus what's not available that we should share out.
Perfect. All yours, Mark.
Okay, thank you. Again, thanks to our panelists and presenters, Jason and Art, and also to Jeff Wiley and Yvette from Arcules. So we'd like to thank all the attendees as well for your time today to hear about the Arcules XProtect hybrid solution, really bringing together the best of Arcules VSaaS along with the best of Milestone XProtect VMS. So for next steps and further information, you can contact Arcules to see more about the product on our website. There is a product link off the main page that will give you lots of information about the XProtect hybrid VMS solution. You can contact our sales team, the Arcules sales team, through email to schedule a demo on Arcules XProtect hybrid or on our VSaaS solutions. And as well, for upcoming webinar events and virtual events, you can look at arcules.com/events for more information. For Milestone systems, You can go to milestonesys.com to book a demo, including a demo for Arcules XProtect or on XProtect. And if you are a current Arcules partner, there is an e-learning module available that you can access through your partner portal through Milestone Systems. The next event up from Arcules on the webinar side is a partner webinar sponsored by Stone Security Systems. It's entitled Security in Sweats. So it should be a nice relaxed conversational type of event. That event is occurring on April 22nd at 11 a.m. Mountain Time. So please go to arcules.com events for more information on how to register for that event. So with that, we go ahead and wind down the webinar for today. We thank you again for your participation. Have a great day.